All right, hello everybody. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. Man, I am super excited today. I am hanging out with the one and only Mr. Ronzo the Beast Cartwright, of course, of the metal rap band Stone Deep. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on and
Yeah,
coming to let me chill with you a little bit. Man, I'm really excited.
great.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I'm checking out your walls. Seem like you're pretty deep into some nice metals.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
we should have a really good, interesting talk about music and other things.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited. So first off and foremost, I need to congratulate you and your band members on the release of two EPs this year. One came out in February, Nashville, and the second one,
Mhm.
Gangs in the Government, came out in April, I believe.
Yep.
And those are currently available where music is streamed, but definitely, I would say personally, where I bought it was Bandcamp, because I know a little
Mhm.
bit more money goes to the band there. So.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot more money. Bandcamp, Spotify, Amazon.
yeah,
So we got
yeah,
a lot of good streams going.
yeah. Great stuff. It's so cool. For people that aren't familiar with Stone Deep, it's there's so it's just this uh collaboration of just killer music. I mean, it's metal, it's rap, it's funk, it's R&B, it's just a thing of beauty. And what I think is so interesting about these two EPs is they were actually recorded 30 years ago, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, about 30 years ago. And it goes back to music. Like there's just good music and bad music, period. Like I mean, I'm 100 years old today and I still listen to, Ray Charles, Creedence Clearwater, Revival. You know
Nice.
what I mean? I listen to the Eagles, Rolling Stones, Beatles. I'm actually really fascinated with the Beatles because it's like they actually are so genius in their music that they got bored with their music. So they usually take two different notes that don't match until you put them together. So they played almost out of tune till they was in tune. But when you heard it, you heard one note. I learned
Wow.
that a long time ago, and that's just ridiculous. So I've been blessed to have like really master, I call them master musicians in my band. Glenn Cummings is like an extraordinary guitar player.
Yeah.
Tim Brooks is a master bass player. Dave Howard is a master drummer, and it's like they helped me take my lyrics and then they just translate it into like translate my feelings into music.
Nice.
So I feel like really blessed to have them with us.
Nice. Yeah. Great musicians, and they play. There's some really cool live footage for those that aren't in Nashville. There's some great live footage of you guys, some pretty far back, back in the
Mhm.
90s, like at the Ritz and the Palace, and you get a really great sense of how tight the band is and how well you guys play together and really feed off of each other's energy on stage, I think. um
Yeah, it's a pure energy thing. So, but yeah, when we played, like back in the '90s, whatever, we actually won the best unsigned band in America
nice.
by the Grammys, which is the Naris Foundation, and we was lucky enough to beat a band from New York in New York, and you know how hard that is.
Yeah.
Able to move further, but yeah, I mean it's a great musicians. The music is a combination of where we all come from. Tim played in a reggae band. Glenn's from New York hardcore bands. He's play guitar for Ludacris and Scatterbrain, which were really huge in Europe. I'm a product. Me and Terry, the DJ, we're products of the hardcore. We was on Interscope Records in 1991,
Right.
and we actually was out on the Cop Killer tour with Body Count, Ice T, and Body Count. So we played Fishbone, Primus, like a lot of those bands. 24/7 Spies, Follow for Now. Uh, Jam Master Jay from Run DMC did produce half our album on the hardcore side. Joe the Butcher Nicolo did the other half of the album, and he did the Fugees, Cypress Hill, and all that stuff right there. So, but a lot of people didn't know that. But Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Joe the Butcher and Jam Master Jay, and learned a lot of tricks of the trade from them. And we did a lot of touring back in the day. But our band always been a combination of like all the music knowledge that we have, and we scream it so it doesn't. I call it metal-epic funky fusion. That's what I call it.
I love
But
it.
it's because it doesn't have a restraint. We can just be whatever we feel like that day. Like
Yeah.
if you come to a Stone Deep show, you might get some heavy, heavy stuff, and you might get something that's got a little more funk to it. You know what I mean? Might got a little Lenny Kravitz in there. Might have a little Slide of Family Stone. May have some Slayer. Might have some, some really hard, heavy stuff. Like Gangs in the Government is really heavy.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, we try to blend just whatever makes us feel good. A lot of it comes from what I guess, feelings that I have or things that's happened to me in the past.
Hmm.
I try to put it into lyrics, and they translate it into music.
Nice, nice. Well, and one thing that I think is really great is the fact that both Nashville and both EPs, both Nashville and Gangs of the Government. It's amazing that I think it's really timeless music, because it's amazing to think that stuff was recorded 30 years ago and it's so relevant, especially lyrically, but musically too. But I think especially lyrically to today and what's going on right now in America and the world. But I mean, I think that's one thing I really love about your music, is the fact that it's both dare I say political, or at least socially conscious, and also very introspective too. Like there's a lot of there's stuff about just kind of soul searching, and I think it speaks to kind of everybody. It kind of speaks to the soul of Americans in a deep passionate way, which is great.
Yeah. So I feel like, excuse me, over the years, so back in the 90s when we used to play, people, well, actually all throughout music dictates what the real people in the real world feel. You know what I mean? It keeps you in tune with like what's going on and what, cut through all the lines and stuff like that. And somewhere along the line, pop music took over, where people just wanted to get paid, but they didn't want to tell, they didn't pay them to tell the truth. So there wasn't enough money in it. So it's got really watered down like everywhere. I mean, from country to rock to rap, it's all watered down. So the fact that the good news and bad news is our music is still relevant right now. The bad news is it's relevant because the same shit's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like it's unrelatable in the past and they're like, well, that was a long time ago. No, it's still going on right now. You know what I mean? And like, so now a new generation, I think, of listeners can like check it out and really tune into what's really going on, and like be like, okay, yeah, the gangs in the government, yeah, that is kind of the same as Crips and Bloods and your army stuff and all this. It's like, yeah, everybody's getting paid. There's always some kind of scam going on, and now we're distracted by booty shaking and twerking and whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And bands are so they're just hung up on being like cute or whatever, and nobody really just speaking the truth. The truth has then lost its voice. So I think you're bringing the voice back. It always comes in rotations too. So the voice of music always comes back. I always tell people that. Doesn't matter how long it leaves, it always comes back.
Yeah, definitely.
Back.
Well said. Well said. I guess the one thing that I was really curious about is kind of why now? What prompted you guys to release this now, and why did it take so long?
Well, that's a good question. Like, I think universal energies don't have a time, and it comes when it comes. And I think music and movements come when you need them. So if we wasn't needed until right now, like I was playing some of my songs, like a year or so ago, and my sons, they're like 22, 25. My daughter's 23, and they come in and it's like, Dad, this is hitting right here. I understand exactly what you're saying. And I'm like, you do? They're like, yeah. I was like, this is like new, like, because I've never heard it before. So if you think of how many generations passed, you know what I mean? It's almost like a Disney movie, right? You put out Cinderella, right? And then you wait 10 years and you put it back out, and there's a new branch of kids that's never seen it before. And they go, that's amazing.
Right.
So that's kind of what's going on right now. It's like the truth is the truth. Good music is good music. So you put it back out, and the new generation are like, Oh yeah. Okay. I understand exactly what I feel just like that. So that feeling, I guess, is now. I think if we'd have did it 10 years ago, it probably wouldn't have the same effect. You know what I mean? It's just gotta be the timing and the universe has gotta collide to like bring it in to where you need it, you know. So I guess we're needed right now. So we're here.
Nice, nice. Now, and you guys have been playing live again. And so I guess that prompts the question, will we see new material, or do you still have more stuff that hidden in the that we don't know about that's going to be released?
We have a treasure trove of
Okay.
nuggets.
Oh,
So what we decided to do was go all the way back to the beginning. Like what you're hearing now with the Nashville and the gangs and the government is literally our tip of the iceberg.
cool.
So we have over 4 albums worth of just straight out balls to the wall, get it.
Nice.
Um, so we're gonna matriculate all the way through. And we're actually, if you go online and see that we're selling like 8 tracks and cassettes, it's
Yeah.
for a reason. It's just to show the timeline of endless, how music is timeless and endless, right? So we'll have 8 tracks out, then they're gonna disappear. Cassettes gonna come out, then they're gonna disappear. Gangs in the Government is gonna come back in a form of vinyl, which is very popular now. And if you think about it, vinyl came, vinyl went, vinyl came back.
Yeah.
So we're doing the same thing. So we're gonna come back, do some vinyl, and we're gonna go through our songs. And as far as new music, it's like this is new music because nobody's heard it. Like the underground people and older underground heads and the streets have heard it, but nobody's really heard it. Heard it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So now you get it out, you put it out, and then just to be honest with you, the energy that I've been receiving from like fans online and we just did a live show at Dark Matter here in Nashville,
Hmm.
and people came from like Birmingham, and one kid was trying to get here from Maryland, and whatever. We got some kid like our artwork is from this artist named Shuggies, like he's Japanese, and we got a kid from Denmark named Balaz that does these little animated clips of us and stuff like that. So
Cool.
it's just like it's really cool, you know what I mean? So it's like everything is new. So hey, we're gonna put it all out. You know what I mean? We get it all out there, and the good news about the internet is once it's out there. Like you can't
Yeah.
pull it off the shelves like back in the day.
Yeah.
You do a release and they put it in the record store for 5 minutes, and then when you don't sell a million records, they snatch it from you. So they can't do that to us now. So that's good. We out there, and just the energy from the new stuff that's been going on. I'm actually, as far as hooks and song ideas, I almost have another album written just in the last maybe 3 months.
Nice.
The way I write them is, I come up with them. They could be anywhere, and I'll scribble down or record it, and I'll send it to my guitar player and be like, "Hey, this is this." He gets some lyrics, some melodies going, and then we're rocking. So it's like as far as new stuff, I think every time I put out anything, it's been advanced, like ahead of its time. So
Right.
we're gonna slow it down, put this out, and then matriculate all the way. And then, music is never ended. As long as there's energy there, I'll keep writing.
Nice. That's great. That's great news, especially for us fans. That's awesome news.
Hey, not to cut you off, what kind of beer you drinking?
I excuse me. I am drinking I'm drinking a Goza, a German. It's called a Ritter Guts Goza. I'll show
Nice.
you.
Oh, I like that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah, kind of a cool label, and yeah, German beer.
I'm I'm,
Um,
uh, I'm a pure country boy, so I'm drinking number 7 Jack Daniels.
oh, there you go. Right on. Cheers to that. Nice. Um, I guess just talking about all this treasure trove of music that you have. Um, so when can we expect the next release? Do you guys have a date yet? A release date, or are you at liberty to talk about that? Or
So right now the games and the government's gonna move for a little bit. I will tell you that we've recorded, I think, like 9 mini videos
oh,
of the
cool.
songs that we're releasing. So there is a Gangs in the Government video that will be out. There's a Finger to the 40 one that's going out. There is a song called Anger, which I wrote in extreme times. And that's going to be going out, and probably about 5 more others. So we're going to do releases, do many videos to go with them, and then just matriculate, just keep going and going. So they're going to just keep coming and coming, so.
Nice. Do you, I know like, so you guys released several albums back in the, mid to late 90s, which are really hard to find now. Do you plan on re-releasing those as well?
Yeah, well, that's the magic. These releases are those.
Oh, okay, cool.
But what we did was, so Sean Franklin and a couple other players. Sean Franklin, he did master work for Public Enemy and a bunch of other people. He was generous enough to remaster our stuff for us. So he got it all updated and looking terrific and, sounding good. So these are remastered nuggets, So when you see, if you go online, you'll see mixtures of old shows, new shows. All the videos are real time because we didn't, you'll see live videos from us back in the day. But if you see any videos, music videos, that's us in real time. It's like me yesterday, basically.
Okay, nice. Very cool. Yeah,
it's almost like being in a time where we're kind of there and here at the same time.
yeah, it's great. I love it. Yeah, I was curious about that. That's great that's all that's being, because I mean, like well, like Kung Fu Grip, and then your your self-titled album 97. Yeah, those are really hard to find, especially Kung Fu Grip, because I think it was only released on tape back then.
It was on cassette, and all the Kung Fu Grips has been remastered. Cool. So it will be in combinations of Nashville and the Gangs in the Government and stuff like that. It'll have those songs in them. There's really even no song unturned. They will be out, So.
Awesome. I love it.
You may not get the original, like the original cassette, but you will get the original music, and it'll be available through streaming. And if we have cassettes out right now, I would say get them now, because we only print like X, and we're doing it on purpose. You're gonna get X amount, so that the real people that was in it at the beginning say, "Hey, I got this back when, right?"
Yeah.
And then you just keep it. So
nice. Very cool. Very cool.
And we do have a store. It's called stonedeepshop.com. And you can go get shirts. You can get the cassettes, handkerchiefs, any kind of thing, patches.
Nice.
You get Stone Deep patches, all that stuff. So we feel pretty blessed. I think a good thing about, that's good and bad to the internet, the interweb. Yeah. The good is that you can reach more people faster.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You can create your underground and your buzz faster, and people can have access to your music in whatever form they want. Like, you don't have to just be stuck at Spotify or Amazon. You know what I mean? You can buy a cassette, you can buy a CD, just rock it. You can pick it up and stream it. So I like it when we get vinyl out. Like, hopefully when we get our vinyl out, you're going to stick it on your back wall somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I have
it's going to have that front cover that Gangs in the Government. Have you seen that front cover?
Oh, that's such a great cover. I love that cover.
Ridiculous. Yeah, so the vinyl's going to have that front cover on there with some nice red. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. Yeah,
I will definitely jump on that. I have a fairly large vinyl collection. I love vinyls. Yeah, I'll be all over that. Very cool. Yeah, I know. I interviewed Glenn several months ago. It was before the release, and he told me about the 8-track coming out, which I thought was super cool. And I think different colors, right? Like orange and yellow. And yeah, that's great. That's so cool.
I mean, my first run in with music was when I was like, I had to be about 8 or something. And I used to live in, I grew up in the ghetto. It's called Settle Court here in Nashville. My mom, them, and this is way back when they didn't have babysitters. So what they would do is they would get pre-buzzed. The club was in walking distance, but they would play their music downstairs, get their little buzz, and then while we're asleep at 2 a.m. or 12, whatever, right? They go clubbing from 12 to 3. And then get back before we wake up. Well, one day they left, right? I come downstairs, 8-track. So I put in Slave. You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
I put in it's an old like funk band. I put in that and some Earth, Wind and Fire and
Nice.
stuff like that, and it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind, and from that day on, I absorbed like all kind of music because I listen to rock music, I listen to rap music, I listen to some things of country, jazz music, alt rock, old rock, you know. So I'm a really deep into music and the I love instrumentation. I think nothing can beat a live band because we
Yeah.
can play it short as long as we want to. You know what I mean? I could freestyle and create a new song like while we're playing.
Yeah.
I've done it before. So I think that even when we was on hardcore Interscope Records in 1991, we went on tour with some rap groups. You remember Third Base?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that flip or sledgehammer or whatever. So we went on tour with them, and they kept telling us, "Hey, man, we're bigger than y'all." The other two groups that was with us, and I was telling them we're a live band. I don't think y'all want to play after us. You know what I mean? Just like no, 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 no. So, but once we got that live energy, they couldn't turn it up louder than we played. Like they couldn't bring enough energy physically out. So we ended up like co-headlining with them for a little bit. We
Nice.
matched energy with Body Count when we went out. Ice-T is amazing. Like people say he's cool. He's way past cool. Like this dude is a general, like a man, he's just amazing. You know what I mean? He's like a really cool dude. My biggest bucket list thing is we played at a club called 328 Performance Hall here.
Mhm.
And I had just bought a slat back Seville. And I got to ride him and the Zulu Nation guys around in my car here in Nashville, man. And he
Oh,
was just like, y'all just rock y'all shit, do what you do. And all blessings out to that cat, man. He is like legit.
nice. That's super cool. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's cool. You guys tour, and that was the hardcore that toured with him, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. We did the whole body count tour with the police chasing everybody, and they, stopping us in Canada and taking everybody's stuff out of just a whole bit. It was pretty intense, but it was outstanding.
Wow. So I know so the hardcore was you and Terry,
Mm-hmm.
DJ Cut,
Right. BJ Cut, yeah.
and Big Tim
Tim
and
was not in hardcore. He was in a reggae band.
oh, okay. Oh, he was not
Yeah,
in.
so the only people from hardcore that's still in the band right now is me and Terry.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. So after you guys left the hardcore, how did Stone Deep come into
Uh,
play? How did that happen?
It's crazy. So after we got off internet, we wanted to change the name of the band, right? So we was like, yeah, we need to change it a little bit. But at the last bit of hardcore, we still had a lot of our members left, but we lost our guitar player.
Hmm.
So one of our friends here, Heather, she was like, hey, I know this incredible cat out of New York, right? Which was Glenn. We was like, okay, cool. Glenn was like, I'll listen to your music, see what I could do. But we sent him a cassette tape for a gig that we had on Saturday. We sent it to him on Tuesday. He listened to it and on his drive down, no sound check, no practice. We rocked the whole show.
Wow.
And that's the moment I knew, well, this is my dude.
Yeah.
So me and Glenn, we kind of hung out there. Some of the pieces of hardcore fell off, and then we finally changed the name to Stone Deep. We went through a couple of bass players, a couple of drummers, and then we finally got Tim and we got Dave. And then after I got the set that we got now, that's it. Like that's the meat and potatoes and the core and the different, genres of music that, musicians that blend together to make that mix. So that's kind of how thing was. Like Glenn, he was and I did. Y'all, if y'all ain't seen him play live, you ain't seen no music yet. He's
Yeah.
ridiculous, like bonkers. He can break strings and still play. He can, flip it upside down, just whatever. You know, we created songs. Some of the songs on the Kung Fu Grip, We created maybe one or two of those just dealing around on stage.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, just like you break a string and then go into a bass drum beat, and then I start freestyling, come up with a hook. He come back in and listen to my voice and throw a melody down, and then boom, you got a song.
Wow. That is wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true musicianship right there. That's
yeah.
incredible. That is cool. Yeah. And I think, I think on your YouTube page, there's some really good footage of you guys playing live, like at the Ritz and yeah,
Mhm.
just the whole band's energy. But yeah, just watching, you know, it's amazing to watch Glenn in those videos. I've never seen him live in person, but to see him on stage bouncing up and down, but then he's doing like all this stuff. It's like
Right.
it's incredible. Yeah. But you guys are all doing that. I mean, you're all just moving and creating this amazing harmonious, and like you said, I mean, sometimes you guys are making it up on the fly. It's
Mhm.
that improv, that's like kind of almost like old jazz, like bop or something.
Yeah, it's literally like sometimes it's like jazz. It's like, hey, where do we want to go from here? I don't feel like stop. I don't want to stop playing right now. Well, what is that?
Yeah.
The band breaks into a melody. Well, to me, it's a song. I can hear, and I don't hear drums. I hear a song. There's a melody going, so I just start writing from there. We write country songs. I don't wrote country songs. Just
Oh,
anything,
really? Wow.
everything. Yeah, we got a little clip out right now of us at the Naris Foundation backstage getting interviewed, and he was like, "Hey, you guys are from Nashville. It's too bad y'all do country." I said, "Who said we don't do country?" So I just ripped into a country song. Glenn started playing it, so it's like, yeah, we could do whatever we want to do, and
Nice.
I love that. I mean, I absolutely love that.
That's great. That's cool. I was curious, how did okay, so and I might have my timeline all screwed up here, but so from what I remember, like the last recordings from back in the day came out in like 2000 or so. Um,
Mm-hmm.
have you guys just stayed in touch this whole time, or have you been continuing to play? Is that, or kind of how did you all get back together?
So a real band is a brotherhood. It's literally a family thing. And I'm not talking about the cats that play frat gigs on the weekend for a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
If you're in a real band that bonded on that level, it's a level, a universal level that you can never shake. So we've always stayed in touch. I always know where Glenn at. I always know where Tim's at. I always knew where they're at. Okay, so and people's kicking around. We should play. We should do a reunion show. And then one day I was like, why not? You know. And Glenn was like, well, I didn't say nothing because you weren't gonna say nothing. I said, well, I just said something. So you know, we didn't have to talk anybody into it. And like if you get to see a clip of the Dark Matter show we just did, people are like, you can't tell you guys haven't played in 25 years. It sounds so tight
Yeah.
and so dynamic that I don't know how y'all do that. We do that because our bonds always we're bonded players. You know what I mean? So when you're like that, it's no way to break that.
Nice. That's really cool. So you mentioned kind of that the story of when you were 8 years old and listening to 8-track, in the middle of the night, 8 tracks in the middle of the night when nobody was home.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start actually performing music or playing music? What was the drive there? Like, when did you start, rapping, or did you play instruments as well? Do you play instruments as well? Kind of, when did that start for you?
I'll tell you a little background on me, which is my life is weird but interesting. They should write a book about it. So actually, I grew up when I was younger, from 3 to about 11 or 12. I went to a Muslim military academy.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Sister Clara Muhammad. It was here in Nashville. And we did mathematics. You know what I mean? We did music theory, like all kind of just off the wall stuff. When I was younger, I could read, memorize paragraphs and recite them, like paragraphs of books at like 3 to 5 years old.
Wow.
So I've always been a lyricist. I know a lot about how to manipulate lyrics and stuff like that. Um, when I got older, like my teenage years, I was actually in a rap group, underground rap group. It's called The Vice here.
Mhm.
So me and LA Mike and Dirty Bob, who's also one of the rappers, and in the hardcore, we did rap gigs and concerts, and that's where I got my stage presence from. And then I actually graduated from ITT and an electronics engineering degree, and
Oh,
I was an engineer, design engineer for Harrison Systems. You ever heard of them? They make studio equipment,
okay, yeah.
make recording consoles like the Harrison consoles. So Mr. Harrison, he actually recorded James Brown, Elvis, like all this other stuff. And so the engineers there, they turned me on to like all the rock stuff. I listened to the Beatles. I listened to Creedence Clearwater Revival, and a lot of that stuff. And so between my rap stuff and that, we should start, getting around. And I was like, hey man, I want to play with some of these rock bands that work here because everybody knows that if you do music, you're probably doing either IT or design or something, right?
Yeah.
So I started rocking out with these guys, and then there was another band here that was called Mr. Zero, and they was on the verge of getting a record deal. Kelly Butler, he was the bass player for the hardcore. They lost their lead, so word on the street, who you need to find? They need to find me. I hooked up with him. We started jamming together. We got two other people from where I worked at, Kenny Owen and Kevin Ryan, play guitar and drums. And it's just like from then on, I was just rock and roll. But I kept all my mixes, everything I did, I make sure it had a rap element, a rock element. And I like to tell people that I'm not a rapper in a rock band.
Hmm.
We are a rock band,
Yeah.
and I rap in it.
Nice. I like it.
It's a difference. If you look
Yeah.
at when they came out, and you had, Public Enemy and Anthrax and, all those mixes right there, those are just combinations. Those are not bands.
Yeah.
Like we're a band. We're a blended, bonded band. So every lyric and every music note is coming from the same place and it's created in the same place.
Nice.
So
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I was really drawn to you is that yeah, it's so it's just so honest. And I agree. I think, as much as I loved, the collaboration of Anthrax and Public
that
Enemy.
was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. But it was just, what, two songs they did, or one song, or I guess it
Right.
was two songs, right? Yeah.
Right.
And it, that was it. And then I guess, then you had, I guess like the Beastie Boys, they touched on that too.
Right.
But yeah, you guys just really embraced that. And this was before Rage Against the Machine. This was before any
Them,
of that
it's
stuff.
that you can name any of them. They were nowhere to, it was way before that. I give all my shout outs to the Beastie Boys because outside of being a great rap entity, they're actually an amazing punk band.
Yeah,
Like
they
they're
are. Yeah.
really freaking amazing. But
Yeah.
everything other than that to me seems, staged. I like Rage Against the Machine. I think they're true to what they do. But a lot of people were kind of, to me, they were just made in a pot in a studio and thrown, kind of thrown out there.
Yeah, I agree with you there for sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's funny, looking back, I'm dating myself here, but yeah, I guess I was in junior high, I think, when Run DMC and Aerosmith got together. And that,
Aerosmith out this way, yeah.
yeah, that was kind of the first time I had ever seen, I guess Blondie did it sort of. But I guess, kind of that,
Mhm.
blending those two
Right.
styles of music, that was the first time. But yeah, it didn't, I mean, it was cool, but it didn't fit exactly. Whereas I think what you guys are doing, it feels so organic. And I think it's because, exactly what you said before is, you guys have there's such a bond, not just as people, but as musicians. You guys have bonded so well. And it's honest. I think it comes from the heart. And that's what I really love about your music and your lyricism, is that it's just this, it's very courageous, I think. And yeah, and it doesn't seem like you guys you guys don't put up with any shit, for lack of a better term.
Whatever, no shit. We're unapologetic. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you don't bend a break. I'll show you something. I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you see this?
It's a little blurry, but yeah, I can sort of. Oh yeah, cool.
So
Yeah.
this is Arabic. It's an Arabic term that means I bow to no one.
Nice.
And so that's kind of my whole thing. It's like we don't shut down for nobody. We do what we do. You can like it, not like it. You know what I mean? Usually people that don't like it, maybe there's something wrong with them and they just kind of offended that I called them out on it. So, hey, tough shit, you know what I mean? Just deal with it. But I'm not a person where we're evil about it. We're not hateful about it. You know what I mean? My thing is I am committed to creating safe spaces for everybody.
Yeah.
As long as you bring love with you. You know what I mean? But I'm also equally, I will divvy out punishment if you know what I'm saying? Like if you want war, I can do that too. If you want peace, I got you.
Yeah.
I can put out in equal proportion. So our music's kind of like that too. It's like some of it seems political or whatever, but it's not political. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not spitting nothing that ain't the truth. I'm not just trying to say like, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, no, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
There it is. You know what I mean? So, and we got some funk in there. I mean, I gotta have some funk. We got a song called Baby Food. I don't know if you heard that or not.
I don't remember if I've heard that one.
It's just all about, so Baby Food is all about the fact that like people on our level and the music that we listen to, everybody don't understand it. They try to overshoot it and make it more than it is, but it's really simple. You know what I mean? So I got a lyric in there that says, Peter Piper pick a peck of peppers, but he couldn't pick a fight with a man who didn't understand. And on that, I'm just saying like, hey man, either you get it or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes we got to do smash carrots for people. And, you know, kind of spoon feed them the truth, but you know what I'm saying? Like broccoli, you put cheese on it. You know what I'm saying? Then they'll eat it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just what it is.
Nice. I love it. That is great. Yeah, that's like I said, yeah, just the lyricism. I love how, yeah, you have fun with it, but at the same time, yeah, there's you lay down some pretty heavy truths, you know, and I love your stance on, you know, very anti-violence, you know, especially, you know, gang and the turmoil that happens sometimes in our city streets, and you know,
Yeah.
I love the fact
You know,
that
we have a song called Faces of Death to talk about like, you know, it's a lot of pain and you know, the streets are harsh, you know, and I think a lot of people live in this weird bubble where they feel like nothing's ever gonna happen to them as long as I'm in my bubble, you know? It's like, well, once you get out of it, real world, it's almost a red pill, blue pill thing, you know? It's like you can't always just walk around and think, you know, you can I can go to the store right now and get shot in the parking lot.
right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have to be aware of that and you have to know that the world is like that and try to be better, you know, put more energy positively into the world to try to balance out all this crazy shit that's going on.
Yeah, that's well said, better than I could say. That's one of the things I also was gonna say that I love about your lyrics is, you know, there's some anger there, but there's a lot of hope and a lot of positivity that comes out of your music, which I think is really important, and transcending too, like, you know, like what we said at the very beginning of the interview, the fact that some of these lyrics you wrote 30 years ago, literally, and they are, you know, it's timeless. It's important to listen to this now. It's and you know, I think that's great, and that's what's so cool about your music is, if I didn't know that Nashville and Gangs of the Government had been recorded and written 30 years ago, I would think it was a brand new band. I would have no idea, you know, I mean, it's fresh, it's relevant, it's unique. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I think, you know, everybody watching this interview should go and buy those 2 EPs right now.
So you can go get them right now. And then go to stonedeepstore.com or Bandcamp.
Yeah.
We get more money from that, you know. And for us, it's not really about the money. It's about reaching as many people as we can I'm really actually excited for the fact that new, fresh ears are listening to it with the same intensity as when we first put it out.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. Um, well, I don't want to keep you all night, Ronzo, but I have one more question for you.
Hmm.
As you know, my page is Brews and Tunes. So
Hmm.
I pair craft beer with mostly metal and hard rock and well all sorts of
Right.
music. But so I'm gonna put you on the spot. And I know you're drinking your
Jack Daniels.
it doesn't have to be beer. It can be anything. It can be
Hmm.
whiskey, whatever. So you're hanging out on a weekend. What album are you spinning, and what are you sucking on?
That is a really good one. This is gonna be weird for you, okay?
Hmm.
Um, I'm definitely drinking Jack Daniels #7
Cool.
on the rocks because I'm hardcore like that. And I'm probably listening to Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah,
And that's
I
my
didn't see that coming.
favorite songs ever.
Wow.
It puts me, or if I'm not listening to that, I'm probably listening to Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits.
Oh, great song. Both great songs.
Great, amazing song.
Yeah.
Good night. Now it's time to go home. Right?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Ronzo, thank you so very much for chatting with me this evening. This has been truly an honor and a pleasure chatting with you. For those of you watching, if you look in the description below, there are links to Stone Deep's website, their Facebook page, as well as their Bandcamp page. If you've never heard them, you definitely want to check them out and definitely pick up the 2 EPs that are available right now on Bandcamp, Nashville and Gangs in the Government. Great music. You will not be sorry. And then look forward to, of course, all the new music that's going to be coming out, which I can't wait. I'm
Oh
very
yeah, we
forward.
got like I said, Treasure Trove. Also, everybody hop on Instagram. We're on there. We
Yeah,
communicate through people, and we listen to music. If you got a band or something, link up, send us our music, your music, our music, so we can all spread our love around. Okay,
nice.
good
Very cool.
family.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Ronzo. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.